You're losing a war every single day, and you don't even realize it. It's not a war on some distant battlefield. It's the war against the snooze button, the war against the mindless, endless scroll, the war against that to-do list that just seems to laugh at you by noon. You wake up with big plans and a clear idea of what you want to get done. But then, you get outmaneuvered, bogged down in the trenches of distraction, ambushed by procrastination, and by the end of it, you just feel defeated. Here's the thing. Your biggest enemy isn't a lack of time. It's scattered attention. But what if I told you the secret to winning this daily fight isn't about fighting harder, but smarter? What if the key to beating modern distraction was hidden in a 2,500-year-old military guide? This isn't about becoming a warrior. It's about becoming a strategist. Today, we're cracking open Sun Tzu's The Art of War to help you conquer your day before it even starts. Section 1. The enemy revealed, your daily war zone. A general can't draw up a battle plan without knowing the terrain and the enemy. For us, that enemy is a shape-shifting, relentless force. It's the constant flood of notifications, the pings, the buzzes, the little red dots. Think of each one as a scout from an invading army, trying to breach your defenses and steal your most valuable territory. Your focus. It's the siren song of social media and entertainment, platforms designed by geniuses to be more interesting than your own goals. It's that vague, looming dread of a massive project, an enemy so huge that it feels easier to just surrender and do trivial tasks instead. This is our modern battlefield, and we are constantly under siege. Most of us are fighting this war all wrong. We try to win with brute force. We tell ourselves, I just need more discipline, or I'll just work harder tomorrow. That's like a general just sending troops into a fight with no plan, just hoping it works out. It's exhausting, it's useless, and it almost always ends in defeat. The result? We live in a constant state of reaction. We wake up, immediately check our phones, and let other people's problems and priorities invade our minds before we've even had a chance to set our own. We bounce from one urgent but unimportant task to another, confusing frantic movement with actual progress. By the end of the day, we're tired, sure, but we haven't moved any closer to our biggest goals. We haven't conquered anything meaningful. We've just been running around putting out fires. This is the war you've been losing. But as Sun Tzu famously taught, the greatest victories are won before the battle is ever fought. Section 2. The Strategist's Playbook. 3 principles to win your day. The heart of Sun Tzu's philosophy isn't about crushing your enemy, but outsmarting them so the fight is already decided in your favor. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Let's turn this ancient wisdom into 3 strategies you can use to defeat procrastination and distraction. Principle 1. Know the terrain and know yourself. Sun Tzu's most famous line is this: if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. In this case, the enemy is everything that pulls you away from what you want to do. It's procrastination, distraction, and a lack of clarity. Yourself is about your own patterns, your strengths, your weaknesses, when you have energy, and what triggers you. So, how do we actually use this? First, you need to become a spy in your own life. For a day or two, just watch. Where do you lose the most time? What are your distraction hotspots? Is it the kitchen counter where mail piles up, a specific app, a messy desktop that makes you want to organize instead of work? Pinpoint these enemy positions. Next, know yourself. When are you at your sharpest? Most of us have a 2 to 3 hour window of peak mental power. Is yours right in the morning or later in the afternoon? This is your strategic high ground. Protecting this time is everything. And on the flip side, when are you most vulnerable to distraction? That mid-afternoon slump when your energy tanks? Knowing this lets you see the enemy's attack coming and get your defenses ready. Let's take Alex. Alex used to start his day scrolling social media, then wander to his desk and get buried by emails. By using this principle, he spent a day tracking his time. He found out his enemy wasn't a lack of motivation, but a series of small strategic mistakes. The phone by his bed was the first invader. His cluttered desktop was a minefield of distractions. And his peak focus time, 9 to 11 a.m., was being wasted on busy work. He now knew the battlefield. Principle 2. Create a victorious position. Sun Tzu taught that victorious warriors win first and then go to war. while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Victory is all about positioning. It's about setting up your environment so that success is the easiest option. This is how we win without a fight. Instead of using willpower to resist temptation, you get rid of the temptation. You make the things you want to do easy and the things you don't want to do hard. What does this look like? It's ridiculously simple. If your phone is your biggest distraction, don't leave it on your desk. Put it in another room during your focus time. Boom. You've just cut off the enemy's main supply line without a single skirmish. If you find yourself browsing random websites, install a site blocker. You've just built a fortress around your attention. The most powerful move is to prepare your battlefield the night before. Before you clock out, decide on the 1 or 2 most important things for tomorrow. Write them on a sticky note and leave it on your keyboard. Clear your desk. Close all your extra tabs. When you show up the next morning, the battle is already won. There's no confusion, no friction. The path to your most important work is wide open. This is what Alex did next. He moved his phone charger into the living room. Every evening, he'd write his marching orders for the next morning on a single sticky note. He even created a separate, clean user profile on his computer just for deep work, with no distracting apps. He didn't need more discipline. He just built a better system. He created a position where winning was the most likely outcome. What's the biggest enemy you face in your daily battle for focus? Is it an app, a habit, or a mindset? Drop it in the comments below. Naming your enemy is the first step to beating it. Principle 3. Attack with strategy and timing. Sun Tzu warned against scattering your forces. He who fights everywhere is weak everywhere. When your to-do list has 20 things that all feel important, you don't have a real priority. You're trying to fight on too many fronts, and your energy, your army, gets spread too thin. Instead, a strategist finds the enemy's center of gravity. That one thing that, if you capture it, makes everything else easier or even irrelevant. For you, this is your most important task, or MIT. It's that project that gets you closer to a promotion, the chapter that finishes your book, the calls that land the big client. Your strategy is to attack this main target first with your best troops at the best time. This is where knowing yourself comes back in. You take your peak energy window, that high ground you found, and you dedicate it only to your most important task. You don't start with email. You don't warm up with easy stuff. That's like sending your best soldiers to capture a tiny village while the enemy's king is sitting completely unguarded. You attack the king. You use your best energy on your most important work. Once that critical task is done, the whole day feels different. You've already locked in a decisive victory. Even if the rest of the day is just putting out small fires, you've already won the war. You can handle those smaller tasks with the calm confidence of a general who's already won. This was the final piece for Alex. He started treating his 9 to 11 a.m. focus block like it was sacred. During that time, he only worked on his single most important project. He ignored emails, silenced notifications, and shut his door. By 11 a.m., he'd made real progress on what actually mattered. The rest of his day felt lighter, and the stress was gone, all because he knew he had already won. The wisdom of The Art of War isn't really about fighting. It's about strategy, foresight, and understanding that the biggest battles are won with smart preparation, not brute force. You win the day, not at your desk in the morning, but in the moments you decide to prepare. You win by knowing your own weaknesses and designing your world to protect you from them. You win by choosing your battles and refusing to waste energy on things that don't matter. This is how you stop fighting a losing war every day. You become a strategist. You realize that procrastination and distraction aren't moral failures, they're strategic failures. So tonight, don't just plan for tomorrow. Position your forces. Identify your number one target. Prepare your terrain. Win the battle before it even begins. Because a real strategist doesn't just hope for victory, they create the conditions for it. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies to win the battles of modern life. Now go and prepare your victory.